Hello there, fellow mediators. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to All Will Fall, Episode 3, Resolving Leadership Disputes. Alright, everything looks pretty good. I would say our wood per day is lackluster. That's mostly because I've told my gatherers to focus on the wood, the water silo and other non-wood-based gathering. I have a lot of wood gathering sites, I just haven't been going to them. Is it a tutorial quest bug? No, it is not. Okay, we got the decorations for the houses. If we wanted to get rid of the boat we'll need to dock, let's just get a wood gathering boat, which is what is considered a simple boat. And here are some of the things that you can decorate a house with. So you can decorate it with plant pots. You can decorate it with like spikes or slavers that are hanging, outdoor shelves. One thing I've noticed is some of the decorations are the benefit that it says in the tooltip and the benefit it actually provides are not the same. So I've found some decorations will say like +4 comfort, and it's actually +4 decor and things like that. So here's one quick hack, which is I can replace the regular roofs that I have with the barrel roofs once I have more junk. And these barrel roofs have comfort. So now we have houses that are more comfortable, but they do lower decor. Alternatively, we can start gluing things onto the sides of them, like plant pots. Now, plant pots cost water when you build them, so keep that in mind. Or alternatively, outdoor shelves. So plant pots are 2 decor, 2 comfort. So put like plant pots here. And as you can see, the comfort here is up 2. And they're still pathable, which is nice. And you can see why I spaced the houses out the way I did. So that I can layer these. Oh, am I out of... Oh, I'm out of wood. But yeah. And you can always move your houses so that there's more space for decorations too. Alright, looks like we're a bit bottlenecked on wood. So I'm going to tell everyone to gather wood. And it wants me to raise one group up to 20. Got it. Will the wooden roof look better? I agree. Alright, now all the houses are the same. You guys did vote that I treat everyone roughly equally. So they're mostly lacking comfort in windows. If we wanted comfort, one way to get comfort would be like wall spikes, oddly. You can also get comfort off of light beams. But light beams are kind of hard to attach sometimes because they'll block attachment spots. Can I add more labs to speed up research? I could. But generally speaking, I've found that the bottleneck to research is the raw resources that go into it, not the labs. Actually, I'm not sure about that. I take that back. You might only have one lab. I've never really tried to build multiples. Oh, please help us. A group with their own boat has come to you. They say they're looking for a place to stay. I can say they can stay. We gain 2. We can take care of everyone. We gain loyalty, lose water, food, and gain 2. Or they must hand their boat over first. I'm going to say we can take care of everyone. I do have the water and the food. We do have water gain, so I think that's okay. In this case, I think what I'm going to do is keep my city blocks laid out the way I've been doing them. I don't have a lot of wood, so I have to be judicious about how I use it at the moment. But enabling support for all of my neighborhood being one tight quarter. All right, the new research project is done. That was the simple boat wood gathering boats. Next up. Rain catchers might be nice. When it rains, you can have rain catchers to add to your water, which is pretty handy. And of course, with my luck, the new people that got added in were sailors and not workers. Word spreads. So here's a situation where I am not entirely sure I have room for them. I mean, I could physically make room, but I'm a little worried that that ballooning our population out really quickly can lead to some terrible shortages.
Yes.
Right? I already am lacking water and storage, for instance. Which means it might be a bad idea to just let more people join if I can't really support the people that I already have. Now, the problem here, of course, is if I want to turn them away, the best one is to have them hand over their water, food, junk, and supplies. I mean, it might be a little immoral, but, you know, it's certainly one way to do it. But I would need 10 more influence than I currently have. But here might be a solution, a festivity for your people. If I decide to use up 80 of our food, which is a considerable swath of our food, we do gain 2 loyalty, which is significant, and influence, and then we can spend that influence to then gain the food back from turning the group away. So I'm going to do that. So festivity for our people, but also, hey, leave your supplies. I'm good to my people, but not other people. At this point, we do have a dearth of food. So what I'm going to be doing is making sure that we are replacing that food as fast as we can. So the fishing hunt here isn't exactly fast or efficient, but it's a trickle, and it's certainly better than nothing. The other thing I could do is to seek out food sources, salvageable food sources. So let's see if there's any food sitting around. There's water up here that I could grab, and there's food down here that I could grab. All right, if I wanted to grab that food, that's actually pretty easy to do. I just don't have the wood for it. So if I want the wood for it, let's deconstruct some of the old wood structure that I don't need anymore. It's not serving any purpose, so it can be decommissioned. In fact, I think, well, this stairwell technically leads to that pallet of wood, but no one's really going after that wood pallet. But that should be enough. Maybe is enough wood. And with this added wood that we just grabbed, I'm going to rework this area a little bit. Highest priority is going to be collecting that food so we don't have a food shortage. And then I'll be adding to our food production capabilities going forward. And then a little side path to still get that floating piece of junk. A lost child. Tragedy. A parent says that the kid was playing near the water when a sudden wave swept him away. Arrange a funeral costs more than I currently have access to, but I can also alternatively say this cannot happen again, which is to promise to build a watchtower. And I think that is the solution I'm going to do, is promise a watchtower. And I have 2 days to do that. I'm going to pivot over to watchtower research, cutting off rain barrels, so that I fulfill that essentially promise with time to spare. Okay, we have hit 20 influence with the workers. This allows us to gain access to unlock leader action, ability to change the group's leader. So the current leader right now for the workers is the supporter. It gives me maximum influence and influence gain, but I can click this change group leader and change them to a walk speed leader, a happiness leader, or a work efficiency leader. These choices cost influence, 50 influence, which I currently don't have, but that's one of the benefits you get at 20 influence with the factions, is you can change the leader of the faction to have them be happier, be more influential, work faster, or move faster. One of the other benefits of some of the recent actions I've taken is sailors and engineers are also giving influence per person in the group, which is my my daily change of influence is now 21, which is really helpful. Yeah, I see starvation incoming. I'm not worried about it just yet. So to that end, what I can do is this fishing hut is going to move here. These supports are going to get removed, and I'm going to build another fishing hut adjacent to it and staff that up. I have a lot of fish on my fishing boats. So when my fishing boats return to dock, we're going to cash in a lot of food. So I just need to hold off until then, which is honestly not that long. All right, research. We are trying to collect wood for the watchtower. We are almost out of gathering spot access. We are looking for our friend. Maybe you can help us out. You see, we're looking for our friend. Last time we saw him, he was heading this way. Should have sailed past your settlement. He was probably carrying some people with him, if that helps. Really nice place, by the way. He was a slave trader, so we killed him. He had some slaves, but we freed them. Many people passed through, can't remember them all. Information isn't free these days, which gives us junk, costs us influence, or you mean Bob, the human resources guy? I'm going to go with the last option. That sounds pretty funny. He betrayed us and kidnapped some of our people. Now we're looking for them, hoping that they were not too late. Oh, the irony, selling a slave trader. So, your people are safe. They can go with you. Would have me have those two people that we rescued off of Bob, the slave trader, and gain influence. So let's do that. So we lost some people in that transaction. That's fine. And everyone is like very close to being quite happy, like almost 20 across the board, which is what I'm aiming for. So group leaders are fighting. If I can get all of them up to 20, I can basically call for unity rather than to side with a specific faction or side with no one, which makes everyone upset. So I do intend to get all will fall without unity. And in order to do that, the factions that need to be the happiest are the sailors and the engineers. So what I'm going to do in this case is have workers not live in these shacks and not live in this shack. So that the people in these shacks are sailors and engineers. And the reason is these shacks are more accessible to add additional decorations on than the other shacks. So if I add another layer of plants here, these shacks become nicer and the occupants that live in them become happier as a result. So you can designate and filter out who lives where to give the factions that need the nicest, the most mood boost, the nicer houses, which is what I'm in the process of doing. I just need a little bit more wood for that. There's also this place needs a true captain. And I'll be going into that in just a minute. I need more influence before I really start down that path. There's a lot happening on the pins here, so I'm just trying to address them as they occur. I would say my food and water problems are, well, my water problems are going to come back. They're going to come back because most of my water that I'm getting right now is from this water silo, and when this water silo is exhausted, I'm going to lose access to that source of water. But my food is mostly remedied because I'm not relying on any temporary food boosts, and I am getting food per day. So we're able to feed everyone. Workplace accident. We can't afford to lose anyone. People like him put everyone else at risk or shut the door. Here's the plan. I don't want to eat him, but I will cast them out. Which was yet another engineer. RIP. And the lab that we have here did research the watchtower. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the engineers that were in the research lab into the wood collector so that I can afford the watchtower. Because at the moment, we have we don't have a lot of wood, so for me to build a watchtower, I'm going to need more wood. But yeah, all of my resources are in the positive up top, which is great. And here is a junk NATO, which is an event where junk gets thrown around. Oops, not mean to remove that. All right, there we go. So I just deleted a whole bunch of support structures that I didn't need, which are going to net me some more wood, which then allows me to build the watchtower. So I was thinking of building the watchtower up here, because I feel like that's like a good spot for it. Maybe I'll build it here. Yeah, I like that. So in order to get up to this watchtower, let's build the ramp that it needs. And this watchtower is the campaign promise of when that kid fell into the water. Basically, it's a lifeguard tower at this point. Now, the benefit of the watchtower, if you're wondering, is it is a influence per day boon. So there's a added bonus to the watchtower besides the fact that it was a campaign promise. And X-Ray Trek, thank you for the resub. You can also build in weird ways like that if you... Well, I don't even know. I guess that's attached to the wall. How is that stable? I don't get it. Wasn't planning on doing that. Exactly. There we go. Cheers. All right. So I have 61 influence. And I only need a little bit more happiness for the factions that then I need to comfort. So I'm going to build spikes and spikes. Someone's workplaces got cut off. Oh, right. These spikes are blocking the bridge. I don't have a lot of wood, but that'll work. So this is 8866 plants. And I'm trying to make sailors and engineers happy. So I can do spikes there. Housing quality should be going up. Sailors and engineers also live in these houses as well. So I'll just keep adorning their houses with stuff as I get the resources to do it. Trying to appease them so that we can resolve the group leaders are fighting. I only have a little bit of time left on that. And here is the watchtower. The output is influence when someone works in there. So, let's get a sailor working in there. A sailor watching the seas. I also think that I'm going to take 2 sailors out of my second fishing shack, because it doesn't seem to really need to be running right now, and put them to work collecting junk and wood. So, the engineers have hit 20. Now I just need the sailors to hit 20. So this house has 2 sailors in them. And there we go. 20, 20, 20 across the board. Group leaders are fighting. All will fall without unity. Done. We unified all 3 factions. And that's just by, you know, doing a little bit of housing projects. So if we take a look at the housing quality, the workers have a significantly lower quality of housing than the others. But that's because I've been siding with them more through loyalty. All right, using your group leaders. Got it. Now, for my current group leaders, I've got the supporter, and the brainiac. The engineer is the brainiac. I don't really care who the current group leaders are enough to overthrow them, because it would cost more than my current influence. So I'm not going to really worry about that at this point. Now, the next thing we want to do is decide what kind of leadership to take. What leadership to take? Freedom? A balance of freedom or order? Balanced or nothing? I'm not even going to include the nothing, because the nothing is like -3 and it sucks. So I'll explain. Before you vote, I know the poll is up, but before you vote, the way this works is the policies tree. So freedom would look something like you only have 1 person per house, but they're happier with the house. And order would look something more like the houses have more people in it, but they provide less happiness. Or you gain more happiness, but less influence, versus you gain less happiness, but more influence. So it's freedom and order. And in order to choose a type of captain, I need to pass a policy. So I need my freedom. If I want freedom, I need my freedom policy to be at least 5%. If I want order, likewise, at least 5%. And both, I would need 5% per both. And I'm happy to go either way. So some of the cheapest ones to pass, each of these initiatives cost influence. So like a fertilizer initiative costs more influence than I currently have. I only have 46. Yellow water costs 30, so I could pass that. Or power from water, I could pass that. That's only 30. Eat before you work, I could pass. Rationing, I could pass. No water or low life, I could pass. Have a cold one is too expensive. The quality or size of housing, I could pass. The indoors versus outdoors, I could pass. The spying on private life, I could pass. The better than others is like picking a specific group, picking workers, engineers, or sailors to side with. I don't want to do that because you guys voted already that I everything should be balanced between the groups. Happiness and influence cost is 50. That's out of my price range. Brain or fists, I could do. That's actually pretty inexpensive. And it looks like you guys want me to take a balanced approach. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to do the fist bonus for headquarters, which gives me 5% order, and pair that with all groups get 20% bonus from housing quality once I get 4 more influence. That way, I'm not... A lot of the policies have you give something up and sacrifice something, but the 2 that I chose don't. So I think that would be a good sort of compromise to keep both groups happy. Oh, random junk. Junk Netto, you know, dumps junk all over your base. So as you can see, there's small little bits of junk now everywhere as a result of the junk NATO. And in some cases, the junk physically blocks our pathing. Like that junk there. Or piles of wood. Doesn't have to be junk. It's raining junk. So I do have capacity for 3 more people in the colony as it is. It wouldn't be a bad idea to necessarily look for additional joiners, as I've been choosing options that like gave up people. I can definitely work towards replacing those the 2 that we saved from the slaver and turned back over and the like. That would be worth doing, because at this point, pretty good at supporting the current population that we have, I think. Now, I may need to focus a little bit more on water. And I had previously wanted to research the rain catchers, but at the moment I don't really have any engineers that would be employable to that. So I'm going to fire both engineers collecting... Actually, I'm going to fire both engineers collecting junk, and then also fire the engineer gathering power, because if I'm not running the junk catcher, I don't need the extra power. Put the engineers in the rain catcher, and then I should have 1 extra sailor who can go into the fishing trawler. There we go. Because I have 102 junk, and it's raining junk, so we're collecting the rained junk. So I'm probably not going to have a junk deficit for a bit. The watchtower has spotted something. It has spotted a group out at sea, and I'm going to do everything that we can do to save them for the loyalty. Plus, I just had finished mentioning we have space for more people. So, getting the more people. And I'm going to put both these people in the fishing spot because I don't have a lot of extra food or water for that matter. Which is why the water silo is really high priority. The other thing I could do is to get access to this water up here. Once I had a little bit more wood. And I do, you're right, have enough influence now. So let's go ahead and hit that. Policies. Happiness from housing quality. So it's not one or the other, it can be both. So the balance is a balance of freedom and order. So now, as a result, we can say we are going both ways at the same time, which we gain influence, loyalty, done. And as you can see, our loyalty is really good. I've been prioritizing loyalty to influence happiness. Now, of course, at some point, the workers are already 10 of the 15. It will get to a point where, like, we're at 15 and I don't benefit anymore. But that's a lot of overhead. You know, we're only 2/3 of the way there. And because unless you take an action that loses loyalty, your people can lose access to water, access to food, access to goods, access to leisure, although that's unlikely. But they're not likely to just, your loyalty doesn't evaporate, which is why it's really nice. Gain more influence with the headquarters. So we did pass the policy of order through the headquarters, brain or fist. We chose fist. And the headquarters is actually going to be rather difficult to research, but I'm all for working towards it. And the reason why it's rather difficult to research is it requires metal. Not junk, but metal. And we don't have a method to which we gain metal just yet. Alright. I should probably gain access to this pallet of wood as well. That's going to be high priority, is liberating this wood here. So that oh, and there's also a big pile of junk down there, but liberating that wood. And now that I've researched the rain catchers, it's going to tell me how to use them. So I want to get them constructed immediately. The way to use it is you put the large rain catcher for water storage right above your rain catcher. Like that. And then you can put the satellite rain catchers above that as well, but it has to be adjacent to your structure. So, for now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this gathering hut somewhere I don't really care. Out of the way, because it's in the way. And then, because I have a lot of junk, I'm going to set up a three-way rain catcher with a little bench underneath that is taking advantage of the rain cover, I guess. So now when it rains, we'll collect a bunch of water in a big surge, which is going to be nice. If I wanted more rain catchers, I could set them up, but I would need more water storages for it. So there is a bit of an advantage to have a bunch of water storages, each set up with their own rain catchers. And if you're wondering, this is not valid, because the rain catcher that I have here is a 1x2, so it's not physically supported in that spot. There are different rain catchers. There are rather different water storages, like a water warehouse, which is larger. That I could build, but it's 3 rain catchers is all that a 1x2 can support. All right, talking about the headquarters. So if we take a look at the social tab, the headquarters costs metal, as you can see, to unlock, 20 to research, 30 to build. So there's no point in starting to research headquarters because I wouldn't be able to get it. I don't have a method to gather metal. Now I can build a metal gathering hut or a metal gathering boat and pair it with deconstruct walls for metal, and that would be a good way to do it. Now the thing is, the metal gathering hut or boat or the hut rather, requires a bit of, it will require me to get some metal to unlock the deconstruct walls with metal. But what I will say, without spoiling too much, is a lot of these random event boxes, sometimes some of them will give you metal. So in order to try to get our seed metal, the metal to be able to get more metal, we should go after these events. But in the meantime, what I could do is get the metal gathering hut, which is just like the demolition hut. Demolition hut is for wood though, and the metal gathering hut is for metal. And there's a lot of stuff made of metal around that we'll be able to salvage. So that's a good thing to research. And the junk Nado's done. Nice. Alright, that stupid boat quest is gone. I just built the boat and destroyed it. Okay, this tower is completely cleared of structure. My demolitionists still have some tasks around. Let's get rid of this broken floor. And then there's a lot of broken floors down here that we could get rid of or we could leave in. The advantage of leaving them in is we could build on them if we want to do. But there's broken walls that we could get rid of. There's plenty of demolition projects for the demolitionists to work on around their shack. So I don't really need to move their shack, in other words. I did mention wanting to get the event boxes. So there's one freebie event box, basically, which is right over here. So let's go ahead and build a little staircase down to this event box. And then I will send 2 sailors to it. So interestingly, these event boxes, you can't send one of each faction. You can't send like one worker, one sailor. It has to be 2 of one group. I don't know if that's purposeful or a bug. Whatever the case is, there we go. This event box will offer up a choice. And all of these events typically are like choices where you pick between whatever benefit you want. And then once we have this event box done, I can put in stairs here and gain access to this water to be able to salvage with the gatherers. And yeah, I know there's plenty of other event boxes around them. I'll get to it when I get to it. Old paintings. Seems to be some old paintings. While not worth much now, they could be a preserved part of our old culture. So we can save them for loyalty, get rid of them with goods, or gain influence with them. I'm going to loyalty them. We do have a pick your favorites, gaining a happiness of 35 for a social group. So working towards that by gaining loyalty with the social groups seems to be, you know, fruitful, beneficial. And that didn't give us a seed of metal, though. So I'm going to try up here next. And we'll send the same 2 sailors up that way. And then there's also water back here that we can gather with that new ladder constructed. It's a strange device. It's a production device that could be really useful to us. The only problem is that it's not working. So, if I had 20 tools, I could fix it. And then if one of my factions had more, like the sailors, for instance, had 1 more happiness, I could fix it for cheaper, but it would cost goods. I think what I'm going to do is try to fix it with just tools. The issue is trying to find tools might be a little tricky. So I'm going to use the slice tool to look for tools. See if there's any exposed tools on the map tile, and then if there is, prioritize it. Additionally, we're going to get a low tide change soon, which may reveal tools to me that are below sea level right now, but won't be for long. And I think that's probably going to be the best solution, if I was to guess. Because at the moment, I don't think I see any tools that we can gain access to until the water level changes. Because like junk, and another event, wood, junk, water. Yeah, I don't see any tools. So we can leave that strange device to be solved later on. I don't need a resolution immediately. Thank you for tuning in to All Will Fall, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow settlement builders.